Hi, my name is Sam Dhaneshekaran and welcome to this database lessons video series. In this lesson, we will see how does an Oracle database start? What are all the processes that are involved? Okay, so in the previous video, we saw that whenever we want to interact with an Oracle database, we need to set the Oracle SID that we want to connect to, and we need to set the Oracle home that we want to connect to. Okay, so now let's just assume the database is not online. Okay, the database has been already shut down. So what are all the processes that are involved in starting up a database? Okay, so let's just see. So when we start a database, okay, there are three phases to it. Three phases. Okay, sorry, not that one. There are three phases to it. Okay, so the first one is you start up the database with no mount option. Second one is you start up the database with mount option. Third one is you start up the database with open option. Okay, I'll come one by one. Okay. So I'll explain. When I explain what happens when we start, then you'll understand. Okay, so the process is like this. So we issue the startup command. So once the startup command has been issued, it looks for the parameter file. It looks for the parameter file. Okay, that's the first step the startup process looks for. Okay, and like I explained in some of the previous videos, a parameter file can be found as an SP file or can be found as an P file. I'll explain where they can be found, but then again, just remember the sequence. When you start it up, the first thing it's going to look for is parameter file, and once the parameter file is read, it gets the information about the control files and other details, mainly control files. It's very important. Okay, so once it's able to read the control files, right, it opens the control files. Okay, so let me put this as read control files and then open control files. Okay, now these control files, they tell the startup process that which the properties of the database files, like now where are the database files located and the status of the database files and everything. So from this point, with the information it got from control files, it's able to read the database files and open the database. Okay, so even if you haven't seen the previous videos, that's fine. you can assume that you are going to start from here. But the important part, this is an important part of understanding Oracle database. It's very simple. So when you start a database, okay, you issue a startup command, and the first thing it looks for is the parameter file. Okay, depending upon the configuration of the system, it knows where the parameter file is. If not, we need to specify that manually. So right now I'm not going to get into how to specify this manually. So I'm going to keep things as simple as possible. So the first is when you issue a startup, it's going to look for a parameter file, and once it finds the parameter file, it's going to read the parameter file, and it will find out where the control files are located. The location of the control files are mentioned in the parameter file. The parameter file not only has the location of control files, it also has other memory parameters to use to start the instance. So up to this part, it's only the instance. Okay. So now it read the control files. Okay. So now we need to read the database files, open the database files. So the control files tell the startup process that the locations and other properties of the database files. So using which it's able to go and open the database. Oh, it's here. Okay, open the database. Okay, so parameter file gives the information about the control files. It reads the control file and then it opens the control file, and then from there it's able to open the database. Okay, so when you open the database, you can open the database in two ways. Actually, like now you open the database uh, let me say it like now in two ways. One is you open it in mount mode, meaning that in this mode only DBAs can access it. Okay, the database is not open. Okay, it's the database is not open for the regular use. Okay, it's opened in mount mode. You know what, I don't even want to use the word open because it may get confusing. Okay, so let me erase this. Okay, so you open the control files, and then you, let me put this as you read the database. So once the database is read, right, it mounts the database. Let me call it correctly. So it mounts the database. Okay, at this stage only DBAs can read the database. Okay, once it has been mounted, then we open the database, meaning that when you open, the database is available for use by everyone. Okay, again, remember the sequence. This is very important to understand. That's why I am stressing this again and again. So when you issue the startup, that startup will look for the parameter file, and once it finds the parameter file, it reads it, and it gets the information of where the control files are located. Okay, once it's able to find the control files, it opens the control file. Okay, this up to this part, this is phase 1. Okay, from startup to opening the control file, this is phase 1. Okay, after opening the control file, Now the process knows where the database files are located. So it's able to read the database files and it mounts the database. Okay, so from this point to the mounting point, okay, this is phase 2. Okay, phase 1, we say we have started the database, we have started up in no mount mode. Okay, let me write no mount mode. Okay, phase 2, we mounted the database. Okay, but still it's not accessible, it's only used, only DBS can use the database. Okay, once it is mounted, then it gets opened. Okay, so this is the final stage or the third stage. Okay, so after this is successful, once this is successful, then the database is available for use. Okay, this is the sequence in which an Oracle database starts. Okay, startup, parameter file is needed, right? Looks for the parameter file. From there it gets the information of the control files. From there it gets the information of the database files. At first it mounts and then it opens. Okay, so 3 phases. Okay, so what are the phases? The database, phase 1 is no mount mode. Phase 2 is mount mode. Phase 3 is open. Okay, so this sequence you need to understand. Okay, I'm gonna show examples of how this sequence is working, but then this is the fundamental of Oracle startup process. Okay, thank you for watching.